Welcome back to Beacon Retirement Strategies. My name's Pete Benson. This is John Maxson. We are senior partners at Beacon Capital Management right here in Middle Tennessee. We have 3 convenient locations: the Cool Springs area, Franklin, also up in Brentwood, and also over to Mount Juliet. So really within 15 to 30 minutes of anywhere in Middle Tennessee, and we love to help people, especially those that are really zeroing in on the retirement age and that part of their life. What an exciting time, but also can be a scary time. We're talking today about retirement blind spots, those things that people forget all about. You know, knowing your number, very, very important. Also, planning for longevity in your retirement years, could be 2 to 3 decades. Other things like making sure that you really work with the right financial advisor, somebody who really specializes in this part of your life, and also not relying on old strategies that maybe got you there but are not going to take you to the finish line. And now we want to talk about 2 other ones right now: not understanding fees and taxes. It's like you pour all this money into this bucket and it fills up, but there's holes in the bottom of the bucket, and those holes, John, are fees and taxes.
Yeah, really amazing conversation. We're just coming out of tax season. We have these conversations every year. People sometimes will, for example, will own a mutual fund, and their mutual fund will be down for the year, and yet they got a tax bill. And they'll say, well, how can I get a tax bill for a mutual fund when I lost money? It's because there was a lot of trading that was going on inside of the mutual fund, and the people that own the mutual fund didn't really understand that. When it comes to fees, most of the fees in mutual funds and things of that nature are inside of the prospectuses, which you should read, but most people acknowledge that they don't. They just kind of discard those things, and there's a bunch of fees in there. And so what we find, not always, but is very typical, that people are paying 1% to 1.5% more in fees than they should be. So if you think about that, if you have $500,000 saved for retirement and you could save 1% a year on your investments, that's $5,000 a year. Now, over the course of 10 years, that's $50,000 that you're keeping in your pocket, in your family's pocket, to be able to be used for your retirement. And if you think about that, Pete, that's a lot of money. That really adds up. And so if you have a higher than typical fee structure and you're paying more in taxes because they're not very tax efficient, the investments that you have, that's kind of a double-edged sword, and that can really erode away the positive performance over your overall investments, not to mention risk and all that other stuff. But fees and taxes are just a huge, huge part of that. And so the other thing is that I believe is a real blind spot for people today, just because most of the industry, as we talked about earlier, Pete, is still using, in our opinion, strategies that really took place in the 80s and 90s, is that people don't go get a second opinion. And that's something that Beacon really prides themselves on, is just challenging people to get a second opinion to find out where you're at. And it could be one of the most important things you do.
Yeah, absolutely. I believe it is. And it's not just in your finances, but other things in life too. I think back, John, to the days that I was dating, and you know, I look at the pictures today and I think back to some of the people that I thought, wow, you know, that'd be great if I got to marry this person. And yet, because I got a second opinion, and now when I look at my wife today and I think of actually 40 years that we've spent together, I'm so glad that I was willing to get a second opinion, that I was willing to look in another direction. I thought I had the right thing, but then I was way undershooting. And it can come to your health, lots of different things in life. It's really worth it to get a second opinion and somebody else's viewpoint on that, and how that can change your life around. And boy, I'll tell you, there's almost nothing more important than your finances, and how important it is to get the right helper, the right professional that specializes in exactly what you need. Just like in doctors, lawyers, CPAs, engineers, there's different kinds of people that specialize in different things. It's absolutely the same when it comes to your finances. There are folks out there and firms that really specialize in growing your nest egg for retirement, but they're not as good at really retirement income planning and preserving that money and drawing income in the retirement stage. So make sure that you're willing to get a second opinion, and make sure that you are willing to listen to somebody and get with the right person. So again, we're talking, if you're just joining us, about retirement blind spots and the things that you need to be aware of. And John, what a great time to tell about our Beacon Retirement Wealth Plan offer today that folks can take advantage of.
Yeah, this is a great offer. There's no cost or obligation. If you have $200,000 saved for retirement, we're going to put a series of reports into your hands free of charge. This is well worth an hour of your time. This includes a fee report. And a fee report is really going to show you whether you're paying too much for your investments or not. Now think about if you could save 1% or more a year on your investments, keeping that in your pocket, that would be a really good thing. And if you're retired or close to retirement, you need to have an income plan where you're going to have sustainable and dependable income so you can live with peace of mind. Risk analysis is important just because the market's been on a really big tear for the last several years. But if the market were to have a correction, and we're not saying that's going to happen, you need to know how much risk you have. And then taxes are as important as fees. You could be paying too much in taxes just because your investments are not tax efficient like they should, like they could be and should be. So what should you do? Well, you should dial our number right now, 615-436-6000. That's 615-436-6000. You see the number on the screen. Well, our time is up for this week. Call us anytime if we can help you. Our number again, 615-436-6000. You can also check us out on the web at beaconcm.com. Until next week, thanks for being here. And remember, peace of mind in retirement starts with a plan.